This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about how semen retention will massively, automatically increase your masculinity. But let's first talk about your automatic sperm production. In a correlated cooperation between your testicles and your organs, sperm is created. It is created for two purposes and two purposes only. One is for you to be optimally healthy and being fired up outside your brain to gather resources and produce an amazingly fantastic life. The other aspect is to reproduce life. So you understand, number one is to sustain and increase the comfortability and the fantastic lifestyle for yourself and your family, and the other aspect is to reproduce. People say that it's only been for reproduction purposes. That's not correct. Sperm is there for you to be fired up outside your brain and be motivated on a daily basis with sexual desire to actually gather resources, to hunt for that which you desire for your family. Why aren't people making use of this motivational force that comes from sperm? It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it's simply because they don't know about it. But now you do, and I recommend you make massive use of it in order for you to progress massively faster than everyone else that's on the same track towards their dreams and goals. Montague says that every single man is given approximately 7,000 ejaculations throughout his life, and that you should use them wisely. I don't know if that's correct. However, what he states about the organs being depleted from excessive masturbation or ejaculation, that's a fact. When you begin to abstain from ejaculation, when you begin to practice semen retention, your organs are allowed to heal. You've been in overproduction, doing that which is wasteful and unnecessary, which has caused your organs and your immune system to not work at its optimal level. Those that practice seed retention end up having a fantastic health compared to those that don't. Your organs, when they work at their optimal level, they make sure that your immune system is doing their job. And if they're doing their job, you end up being able to retaliate from all kinds of viruses and issues that come your way. Obviously, it definitely has its limitations. It's not all about semen retention. You also got to have nutritious foods. You also got to have exercise. And if you put poison in your body, it's not going to help whatever you do. Now that you practice semen retention, finally, your organs are being allowed to heal. The body heals all on its own. You've seen that. When you bleed after you've hurt yourself, it heals. And it's the exact same thing with your organs. If you overproduce sperm using your organs, they will become depleted eventually and cause dis-ease and a lot of health issues for yourself. Unnecessarily. But if you get to the point where you now maybe ejaculate once a month or a lot less, your immune system will work at its optimal level. And then you'll come to the point where you're like looking back and when was the last time I was sick? You won't even remember because it will be a thing of the past in most instances. Now that you've healed your organs, the next step for the sperm production is to increase your testosterone levels. It's now going to begin the journey of normalizing your hormone levels to that which is normal and healthy. If you have had low testosterone levels, that will affect every single aspect of your life because it affects the motivation that you have to get anything done. It also affects your happiness. If you have low testosterone levels, you are more likely to be depressed and unhappy than if you've got a massively high testosterone level. Like I've stated before, doctors receive tons of low testosterone patients. But there's no one that comes into the office for, I have too high testosterone levels. It doesn't happen to doctors. This is why low testosterone is the big problem. But remember, no medication. You want to do this naturally, and semen retention does the job. Remember, everything you desire, everything you want, all of the abundance that is out there is outside of your comfort zone. Which means that within the first 30 days, which is the time that most people quit semen retention because they can't handle the emotional instability, they are going now outside of their comfort zone, and then they're retreating just like the turtle because it's scary and it's uncertain, and I'm having these low abdomen pains and I don't know what's going on. Don't retreat. You want to gradually, over time, one step and one day at a time, grow exponentially the comfort zone so that it stops being this small little comfort zone that you've had all these years, but it ends up being a massive comfort zone where other people are like, oh my gosh, like, what have you done with my friend? Or like, who are you? You want to be that person. You want to be the leader who actually takes charge and makes things happen. I remember one Christmas Eve where we were gathered as a family. It was 7 siblings and me plus my mom and dad, and there was open fire next to the window. And at one point, the drapes caught fire, and there was like, and began like fire towards the entire window, right? It is the fastest thing I've ever seen. At that moment in time, I believe he was 20 years old, my older brother, who's the most, I would say, the most masculine of all the 6 brothers in my family. He immediately took the drapes, pulled them down, opened the window, and those drapes were like attached to this bar at the top there, so it wasn't as if it was easy to pull them down. But he immediately just pulled them down, threw it out the window, and it was done. It was in winter, so there was snow outside and the fire stopped immediately. Man, we're talking like within 3 seconds, the drapes massively taking fire and he, boom, making it happen. That's how masculinity works, and that's what you want for yourself. What would you do in that situation? You'd probably be stuck like a deer in the headlights. What do you think the feminine ones in the family were? What do you think the women were? Exactly. You want to be the man who protects and provides. And you can become that man. And it all starts with semen retention. Also, during the first 30 days of semen retention, you are now outside your comfort zone, but you're also massively practicing self-control. This self-control you're practicing right now in the first 30 days is foundational for achieving any and all goals in your future. Because it has to do with discipline. It has to do with self-control. If you cannot control yourself, if you can't discipline yourself to do that which you don't want to do because you don't feel like doing it, nothing's going to happen consistently for you. It's about doing the boring, mundane steps daily over a long period of time. And if you do that, then you will receive the exponential growth curve. Without self-control, you won't. That's why it's critical that you get past the first 30 days. What's beautiful is that once you are past the first 30 days, the difficulty level actually decreases. It's not like it's continuously difficult to practice seed retention. And it's the same thing with success. It's the beginning that's difficult, where you're emotionally unstable and all over the place, and then the difficulty level decreases to a more comfortable, calm, peaceful level. Because you've gone so long now without releasing that you now don't want to release even more. Which means that you're increasing your masculinity and discipline and self-control continuously. And then we come to 90 days. Do you understand what happens at 90 days? It could happen at 60 days. Sometimes it doesn't happen before 120 days. However, you will come to a point when your brain is completely rebooted and healed in terms of your skewed dopamine levels that you've massively messed up because of your porn use. Once you've overcome that, once you've disciplined yourself to get past 90 to 120 days, your brain is rebooted. It is healthy again now. Your erectile dysfunction is also gone, finally, because your brain is rebooted. You're healed now. What's beautiful is that your body is no longer in survival mode. Just like your body rejuvenates when you're fasting for a period of time without food, it becomes more receptive to nutrition when it comes. It becomes more receptive to pleasure from the food you eat. This is exactly the same thing that happens to your body and to your brain. And once you have that in place, life becomes exciting, life becomes happy, and you become fired up outside your brain. Since your brain is no longer in survival mode, it now begins to step into growth mode. You're now becoming hungry for success. You're now becoming fired up outside your brain, being masculine to provide for feminine creatures, to please the feminine creature sexually, to desire kids so that you can actually allow your lineage to move beyond you, and for you to also be fired up to be with these kids because they're created in your amazing image. The more masculine you are, the more you love yourself. The more you love yourself, the more you will love your feminine partners, but the more you'll also love your kids because they are in your image and you will want them and you'll want the best for them, which will again fire you up even more to take things to a whole nother level. A side note here at the end. As you practice seed retention, make sure that you stay away from any romantic relationships with women at all. Unless you're married to them or have been in a massively long-term relationship with them for 3 to 4, 5 years and you're never ever going to let them go. All of you others, get rid of women in your lives romantically for now. Until your body and your brain is completely healed, you've stepped into growth mode, and you're massively attaining milestones, financial milestones, to set up the foundation for the rest of your life. You want your life to be fan-bloody-tastic. And the more masculinity you have, the more fantastic it's going to be. Don't allow anything to stop you from achieving your dreams and goals, and that includes women on the path to success. Once you've actually begin to hit some certain milestones, like for example, $10,000 a month in net passive income, that's a very good goal to hit. It can be hit in 2 to 3 to 4 years, absolute maximum. It can go even faster if you've got a mentor or coach of some sort, because that'll help you to be even more consistent. But you will be able to get there as you keep prioritizing your foundation, keeping your costs low, and eventually you'll get to the point where you can get the women from the top shelf of life, the high quality women, and not only getting them, but also retaining them. Sleeping around with women is easy once you figured it out. But actually managing to get high quality women and retaining them and keeping that relationship fantastic, now that requires a professional. This channel gives you that. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. One step at a time, we're moving towards masculinity and progression and abundance in absolutely everything that we do. I'll see you in the next video.